So Hare Krishna. So today we will discuss from Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter. This is 59th verse. So most of the time we all claim that the Lord is responsible for our conditional existence. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है. So whatever happen with us, we actually point our finger towards God. We point our finger towards God. So here is the verse. Nandate kasyachit papam na chaivam sikrutam vibhu ajnanena abrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. So it means na adate kasyachit vibhum. Vibhu means here, vibhu. Yes, Vibhu means the Supreme Lord. We are Anu. Anu means we are the soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So no adate. Adate means accept. Adate, accept. Kasyachit papam. Kasyachit papam, anyone's sin. We all are doing sinful activities, knowingly or not knowingly. So, papa means people are engaged in sinful activities. Papa means which is not prescribed in the scriptures, which is not acceptable in the society. Papa. Na adate kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibhu. And also sukrutam, pious activities. Papa punya, sukrutam vibhu. The Supreme Lord never accepts both. Neither he accepts the what? Sinful activities or pious activities. But ajnanena abrutam jnanam. Ajnana means ignorance. Ajnanena abrutam jnanam. Abrutam, this jnana, knowledge is covered. Maya apahruta jnanam. Although people are nowadays very scholarly, they have got this degree from big universities, and they are very popped off of their so-called qualification. So, but this knowledge is covered. Tena muhyanti jantavah. So that's a muhyanti is bewildered. Jantavah, the living entity. Jantu means the living entities. So because we living entities, our knowledge is covered, that's why we are bewildered and we think that the Lord is doing everything. The Lord is the cause of our miseries or our sufferings. So here Srila Prabhupada talks in his purport. This Sanskrit word Vibhu means the Supreme Lord who is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, strength, fame, beauty and renounces. Sometimes according to material estimation, we think a person is very great. So today I was coming from Diva to our temple. So near to Powai, I saw one truck. In the backside there is written, there was a caption. India is great. Srila Prabhupada used to say that India is great, but how great India is, people don't know. The same way, someone may be great according to our material, calculation, but he may have some knowledge. Yeah, he's like the encyclopedia, considered as encyclopedia, but his knowledge is not sufficient. He may be rich, but Someone may be more rich than that person. Strength, fame, beauty, whatever you see. But there is no one, natat sama, na abhyadika. So it is said in the Upanishad that no one is greater than Krishna. No one is greater than God. So that's why he says he is always satisfied himself. Atma Rama. Kutah anyata syat ramatah so atmanah. Krishna is always self-satisfied. He is in bliss. He is undisturbed by sinful or pious activities. So that's why Lord does not create a particular situation for any living entity, but the living entity is bewildered by ignorance, desires to be put into certain condition of life. So that's why we have that desire. Ichha dvesha samuttena dvandamahin bharata. So that's why we are in conditional life. I have that desire to be born in Orissa. That's why I know only Odia language. Yeah, sometimes I speak Bengali, yeah, English. No, I can speak Chinese, yeah, Mandarin language. I can speak French. If I may learn from someone, some teacher, then that may be some exceptional case where I can talk a little bit more other language. So here it is said, because we want, it is our desire, that's why we are here. So that's why due to this conditional life, this chain of action and reactions actually begins. Sometimes we get the reactions immediate result. Some the result will come in future. So that's why although this living entity, because it is soul, is superior by nature, full of knowledge, he is prone to be influenced by ignorance due to limited power. So we have a limitation. Many times we think we will cross this boundary. We want to be unlimited. Sometimes the Mayavadi philosophers, they says, oh, you are now in conditional life. Yes, you are in condition. But in future, practice some yoga, practice some meditation, go to Himalaya and stay inside the cave of Himalaya, and after some years you will cross this. So that's why, because we are this, due to this influence of ignorance. So that's why Srila Prabhupada always says, this is the last snare of Maya. Maya always try to influence us, tries always to, bewilder us that we can become God. But the Lord is omnipotent, He is omniscient, He is omnipresent. So in a history, I always had this omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. So how Lord is omnipotent? How is so potent that He can impregnate the Brahman? Tasam Brahma Mahad Yoni Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna says, I impregnate that Brahman, the ingredients of material nature. But the living entity is not omnipotent. We have some potency, sometimes impotent people are there, impotent. So that's why there is no compare. So he is Vibhu or omniscient, but the living entity is Anu, atomic. So our finite soul, Balagra Satabhagasya Satadhagalpitasya. So our soul is so tiny, you cannot measure it in such, there is no device to measure, no device. In our engineering, we used to, like a micrometer, vernier caliper was there to measure some very micro level of measurements in mechanically. But if you measure it through, nowadays is laseroscopic, some device it is, if it is there. So I am telling to all of you that yes, still we are so minute, but the capacity to desire, because we have a free will. Krishna allows us some free will. So that's why such desire is fulfilled only by the omnipotent Lord. So when Krishna sanction, then we will fulfill our desire. So when the living entity is bewildered in his desires, the Lord allows him to fulfill those desires. But the Lord is never responsible for the actions and reaction of the particular situation which may be desired. So that's why when we talk in a particular situation, we have to understand that what is the situations. But very carefully hear the situation. So sometimes, suppose you have a desire to eat rasgulla. You have that desire. So Lord fulfilled, okay, he arranged, you get the money and you go to a shop. The shop is open, there is no lockdown, any circulations, that shop is open. So you went there and you ask, you get the rasgulla. So you ate 10 or 15 rasgullas that day. So after eating 15 rasgulla, so if you think that, once one of devotee, he drink the rasmalai juice, whole juice. So much juice he drink. After some time, he was going to bathroom, toilet. So that's why here it is said, the action you did and the reactions is there also. So Lord is not that, after eating, the consequences that you are going again and again to the bathroom. So same way, so maybe we have some desires. So that's why we are in a bewildered condition. Therefore the soul, embodied soul, identifies himself with the circumstantial material body and becomes subject to the temporary misery and happiness of life. Wherever, whatever your circumstances, situations, sometimes you are going through that. Sometimes we see there is exodus. Log bhag rahe from one place. And one group of people are threatening. They are chasing after another group of people. And those groups, those who are minority, those groups who are less in power, they left that place. लोग छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, हम लोग कई बार देखते हैं. So that's why in the particular situations, so temporary misery and happiness of life, this is temporary, it is not permanent. So that's why the Lord is constant companion of this living entity as permanent. That's why it says in Bhagavad Gita, Upadrashta Anumanta Cha Bhakta Bhurta Maheshwara. Krishna is the permitter, he gives permission, he gives sanctions. He is constant companion. Wherever the living entity goes, the soul transmigrates from one body to another body. The Lord also, as Paramatma, he also goes. It is not the Lord leaves the people. No, never. He is the Supreme Father. So that's why he always with us. So that's why he can understand the desire of the individual soul. As one can smell the flavor of flower by being near it. Yes, if you will go to a garden, if there is nice lotus and other different lilies, different flowers are there, you just as soon as pass, you can smell the flavor. So desire is so subtle form conditioning for the living entities. So that the Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. Man purposes and God disposes. This is, often people says this, man purpose is, yes, people have this so many desires, we have so many purpose, but if we do not deserve it, then cannot get it, not possible. So that's why, therefore, omnipotent is fulfilling the desires. Omnipotent Lord can fulfill all desires, being neutral to everybody. Anur aniyamsa mahuto mahiyan. Eko bahunan viddhati kaman. He is one but He can satisfy all of us, whatever you desire. So generally we have material desires, we have spiritual desires. Sometimes we are in neutral, we don't have any desires or karma. So that's why, due to Lord is the neutral position, she does not interfere with the desires of the minute independent living entities. So when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to Him and be eternally happy. So if you have that desire that let me, oh Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, it means we seek the service of the Lord. हम सभी चाहते हैं, O eternal energy of the Lord, please engage us in the service of the Lord. So when we actually turns our face towards Krishna, Krishna recognizes, oh, this living entity is turning towards me. So that's why Krishna takes special care. Although He takes always the special care for all the living entities from time immemorial, where what we cannot remember also since such a long time. Anadi udbhavam api. It is not just today, yesterday the program was there. No, it is a long-term program. So that's why it is said the Lord engages the living entity in pious activities so that he may be elevated. So all the pious activities we do, like suppose opening hospitals, opening schools and colleges, giving charity donations for the preaching purpose. Sometimes people should go and plant the trees. I see. Then in rainy season, before rainy seasons, people go for plantation. And sometimes people go and for sometimes cyclone, some natural disasters are there. That time go for distributing reliefs, some packages to the people. So all these activities, even if doing meditation, these are all pious activities. So that's why the Lord engages him in pious acts so that he may go to hell. So the both cases. So it is said that ajano jantur anisoyam atmana sukha dukkhayoh ishwara peririte gachat swargam vasa avharam evacha. If you are engaged in pious activities, you will elevate yourself to the upper planetary system. Now those people, those scientists who are eligible to go to those who got the opportunity to go to like space, those who got a job in ISRO, NASA, in any like space agencies, they goes to the higher planets, space. They are very pious people. Agya jantur anisoyam. So that's why the living entities like human beings are completely dependent in desires and happiness. Completely dependent. We are dependent. We are not independent. Although we call ourselves that we are now independent, swadhin. But practically we are not. We are always distressful condition, in tension, in chaos in the society. So that's why as a cloud is driven by the air, so the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell, like the cloud is driven by the air. So in the sky you can see the air. If the air is speed, it is blowing, then you see there is a possibility of rain, but that rain and the clouds moves from that place. Same way, we living entities, because Lord has this plan to for all of us to be engaged in the good activities, but we are so unfortunate. We always engage ourselves in impious activities. So that's why when you are always doing these impious activities, the result will be that you will go to hell. So therefore, the embodied soul by his immemorial desire, immemorial, it is the word is means desires are there even not in our memory. So to avoid Krishna consciousness causes his own bewilderment. Yes, causes own bewilderment. So that's why we are bewildered. Consequently, although he is constitutionally eternal, blissful and cognizant, Satchitananda Swarup, due to the littleness of his existence, he forgets his constitutional position of service to the Lord and is thus entrapped by the nescience. So we are entrapped. As I am telling all of you, suppose you forget your identity as a male and you enter to the compartment which is reserved for the ladies. That will be the biggest disaster. The same way once I sit, once in one train. So after sometimes I saw that all ladies are there, ladies are coming. So after sometimes I get down and I went to another compartment. So that's why it is here said. Yes. So actually we forget these constitutional positions. Diver Swarupa Hai Nitya Krishna Das. We are the servant of the Lord, but we forget it. So that's why after getting the degree, people are going to different factories, different agencies, governmental jobs, so many jobs are there. So people are going there and asking, please, this is my certificates, this is my qualifications, please give me a job. Srila Prabhupada used to say, after your education you need a job. If you don't get a job, then your degree is valueless. No values. And no more values. Same way, after getting the degree, because you don't know, understand that your master is within your heart. He is next to you. And he is telling to you, look, I will give you the job. Look, I will give you the employment. Why you are going here and there? But we are forgetful. We don't understand that, yes, the Lord will supply us, give us our job. No, we don't have that faith also. So that's why Radha Spirit, Lord Radha Spirit is in our heart. He is residing in our heart. He is our master since we come into existence. We are in this material world, but we are not going to Radha Raspberry. We are going to somewhere else. So that's why we are suffering. Jiv Krishna Das, ए विश्वास करले तो आर दुख नाय. If that faith, that vishwas is there, then there will be no more miseries. There will be no more any difficulties in our life. So that's why under this spell of ignorance. So ignorance ये बहुत बड़ा अज्ञानता है. So that's why we claim that, oh, Lord is responsible. Sometimes people accuse the scriptures. Why in the scriptures this incident is described? Why the Lord did not help? One of my friends was telling me why Draupadi was so much, she was sexually neglected. She was crying a lot in that assembly where Kauravas, they were going to blaspheme Draupadi. So that time the Pandavas could not help. So here the situation was, although the Pandavas were very great warriors, when their wife was insulted in that assembly, they can that time actually take the actions. But here we see the situation was that although the powerful living entity was present there, the Supreme Lord's presence was much more important. That's why Lord was present. He actually supplied cloth to Draupadi. He supplied cloth. And Lord Krishna did not speak anything in that assembly, but later he arranged Mahabharat, the biggest war ever happened in the history of humanity. Such a big battle where all the kings, all the warriors, they assembled. Those who insulted, those who supported that, all they were killed in that battle. So just understand. So sometimes we said we want immediate result, immediate. No, there is no need that you want some immediate result. Yes, result is there. It will come later. There ho durusto. Although it is late, but you will get it. You will get it. So that's why here in this verse, Nandate kasyachit papam. So the Supreme Lord, He never accepts anyone's sinful activities. Sometimes the Christians goes to the church and they pray to Jesus. Oh Jesus, we have done this sinful activities from Monday to Saturdays. Please forgive. वो माफी मांगते हैं. But later again from Monday to Saturday they do the same activities again and again. And they think that Jesus will forgive them for their sinful activities. So same way in Bhagavad Gita, last chapter, 18th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mukhyasami mahasucha. Abandon all variety of religion, just take shelter of mine. I will relieve you from all the sinful activities. Yes, Krishna says. But Krishna never says that He will accept the sinful activities. No, He never accept. Never accept. Nachaiva sukrutam vibhu. All the pious activities, whatever. So all these activities we do under the guidance, because Krishna, Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is Sarva Karana Karanam, but He insists us. So that's why we have a little independence, that free will we should use. We should understand, yes, I should not do this. It is not good for me. Yes. But due to ignorance, due to this bodily concept of life, the bodily desires are there, unlimited desires are there. Senses says, like eye says, watch a movie. Eye says, go to a beautiful place where people are doing all these nonsense activities. Tongue says, eat whatever you want. Why you are eating this prasadam? You eat, you go to a hotel, motel and eat there. And ear says, look, why you are hearing this Hare Krishna mantra, why you are hearing this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Purana, Shastra, you hear something. So because this is our conditional stage, again and again we are entrapped. Again and again we fall down. Again and again we try our best to again wake up. So sometimes we are crawling, sometimes walking, sometimes again fall down. Then so that is our condition. So that's why here it is said. So muhyanti jantavaha. We should be not bewildered. We should not be in ignorance in our life. So that is the message from Bhagavad Gita. So when you will read Bhagavad Gita every day, you will get so much knowledge. You will get so much knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, so much knowledge. So that the Bhagavad Gita helps us to coming out from this situation in our life. From the from the darkness to light. From ignorance to knowledge. Yes, we can. That helps us. So the right understanding of our scriptures, that's why the Smriti, Shruti, Purana, the Pancharatrika Vidhi Vina. So people are not studying any scriptures nowadays. Because our culture is, spiritual culture still prominent in the society. Still peoples always want the justice. They always trying to justify justice. Yes, they always want that sarve bhavantu sukhina, everyone should be in peaceful state. But the peace is now gone. We are in restless situation, restless conditions. There is no more peace. So, if people wants to be happy, peaceful life in their life, they must follow the scriptures, read the scriptures. Sometimes there is home violence in India, in all over the world, to speak of India, during this lockdown period. The violence cases are now much more. Husbands are beating the wives. Wives are sometimes demanding, and they are going to court, and they are putting sometimes wrong case against their in-laws. Sometimes happen, just to threaten that you cannot tell anything to me, like that. So nowadays everyone has the right to go to the court and put a file a case against someone else. So we see all this violence is going on now. Women are feeling unsafe in their in-laws' house. So they think we need education. After education, we must have a job. So after getting the job, and they are happy to see the message of salary always credited in their bank account after the end of the month. महीना के end में salary आ रहे, खुश है. But sometimes they see that after getting the salaries, getting the job, becoming an educated woman, they think the problems will be solved. No, problems are not going to be solved. Problems are still exist. So we don't want only job, we don't want only salary, we don't want only our some so-called prestige. We want many things from the society. We want a home where all our family members is giving respect to each other, where all our family members are cooperating. In the sense of cooperating? From the morning to evening, going to office, going to school, going to your job place? No. Nahin. So people have this wrong conception that by doing this they will be happy. But practically that is not the case. Case is different. Case is that if the whole member sedin grihe bhajan dekhi, grihete goloko bhai. When you see that all the members in our family, they are engaged in the service of the Lord, they are hearing the scriptures, they are doing kirtan, they are chanting the holy name of Krishna, they are doing some service, some menial service to the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. So they are doing worship. So all these activities they are engaged. Then that place is Vaikuntha, where there is no miseries, where there is no suffering, where there is no more difficulties. But people don't have this knowledge. When we give this suggestion to the people, please accept, please take up this Krishna consciousness. But that time they failed. They says, we don't want it. What is the need of this? This is only for the silly people, for those who are ignorant. Those who means according to their estimation, so means devotees are very simple people. They don't want anything. Yes, devotees are very simple, but devotees are also scholars. Devotees are also. So that's why from this Bhagavad Gita we can learn a lot of messages, which is very helpful for the society. If the society members, if the leaders, if the educationalists, scholars, if the politicians, if they will take it and they will help the society, help the people to understand the scriptures, I think the problems we are now facing in the society will be minimized. Where in a society, the whole world can live. Where a society, whole members are striving to please the Supreme Lord. So thank you very much. I hope you all understand, you all get the theme of this verse. हरे कृष्ण जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।